Hey everyone, this is Julien from Memory Cards. Today I am playing some Hearthstone. I've been back into the game and I've chosen the right time because there's actually a new expansion coming out in mid-April, which is called Witchwood. We just saw a trailer for that yesterday. They showed off a few new cards as well as the overall tone of the expansion. It looks to be very like almost fairy tale, like dark fairy tale, almost like a Brothers Grimm type vibe. It revolves around a village surrounded by woods that have an evil entity in the woods. A lot of corruption, a lot of defilement of nature, things like that. So in this video, I'm going to play a little bit. I'm going to talk about some of the new cards and also just talk about Hearthstone in general. Now, a warning must be made. I am not excellent at Hearthstone. I am pretty casual with this game. I have spent a lot of time playing it. I really got into it around the time of the Old Gods expansion. And usually what I do with Hearthstone is when a new expansion comes out, I get really into it. I play for about a month or so, maybe a month and a half, and then I kind of get distracted with other things, or I just move on to something else. And then, you know, when the next expansion, I come right back to it. So I've been away from Hearthstone for probably about a month or so. I played a bit in the last 2 days. But I missed this big chunk of time where there was a bunch of nerfs on really popular cards, and the overall meta of the game has changed significantly since I last played it. One of the things that grew in popularity while I was not playing was the use of a card called Carnivorous Cube, and it turns out to be a super powerful card. So the deck I'm going to be using today in this video is a Cube Shaman deck I built. I usually don't net deck, and I didn't do that here. This deck might exist, but honestly I haven't been paying attention to anything or what people are building. I know that the Cube Warlock deck was super popular, which I have one of those here. So there's a couple things in here that I'll probably change the more I use this. Maybe take out Bloodsail Corsair and use it with something else. I'm not running Patches in this deck. Patches is one of the cards that got nerfed. But this deck is kind of a fairly simple Jade deck that cycles a lot. And what I mean by that is the trick of this deck is to play your Jade cards and then cycle them back out and then play them again. So that's why I have Spirit Echo and I have Zola, the Gorgon, which brings cards back to your hand. And then Grumble World Shaker, which doesn't see a lot of play, but I think it's a pretty good card. You drop it down, brings all your minions back, and then they cost 1. This is really good in a Jade deck I found, and I really like using it. Especially good with Jade Chieftain, I found. And then you have the Carnivorous Cube, and this is the crux of the deck, as I mentioned. This card turns out to be really good with something like Aya Blackpaw. So you would play Aya, use her to attack once, hopefully on the next turn if she doesn't die, and then you would Carnivorous Cube her. That brings a Jade out of her death, and then that spawns 2 more, so that's 2 more Jades when she dies again. And then you could add more crazy layers to this with Spirit Echo. I'm only running 1, I might change that, but then I also run 1 Lesser Sapphire Spellstone, which, provided that you overload while it's in your hand, you can upgrade it to summon copies of your minions, and you would want to summon copies of Aya, summon copies of a Carnivorous Cube that has killed an Aya. So that would mean if you use the Carnivorous Cube to kill Aya 1 time, right, you would be spawning 2 Ayas, but if you then Spellstone that Carnivorous Cube, you can get up to like 4 or 6 Ayas on the board, and that is really fun to pull off and usually results in a win. Alright, Mage. I historically do very, very poorly against mages, so this might not be the best opponent to go up against when I need to speak on the new cards. Okay, let's see. So having Jade Spirit right off the bat is handy, and Devolve, usually not needed in a lot of when going up against mages. I doubt that this is like an elemental mage, so I'm gonna hang on to the Jade Spirit and see what else we can pull up. Hopefully some early game. Okay, so no early game. That's not fantastic at all. Alright, let's cover some of these cards while he plays his first hand. Alright, well, let me go skip my turn here. So first up, we got Baku, the Moon Eater. This is a 9-cost neutral legendary minion that is a 7/8, has the flavor text start of game. If your deck has only odd cost cards, upgrade your hero power. So functions much like Justicar Trueheart, and provides the same effects in terms of upgrading your hero power. So that means when you play, or this is going to be a start of the card game, right? So as soon as the game begins, you get this effect, provided that you only have odd numbered cards in your deck. And this is neutral, obviously, so you can run it in any class. But what this means is when you have it, start of the game, it's going to upgrade your hero power. Shaman, for example, when you upgrade its hero power, you get to choose which totem you summon instead of it being random. Warrior, it increases your armor from gaining 2 every time you use it to gaining 4. So that's really neat. And that's, you know, Justicar Trueheart was a popular card. It saw play, and there was many deck archetypes in the meta that utilized that card. And then we have the counter to that card, which is Gen Greymane, or Gen Greymane. It is a large Wolfman character with a pistol or some sort. I'm not super familiar with all of the characters from World of Warcraft. I don't know if this is a character that exists somewhere else in World of Warcraft or somewhere. But I'm gonna go ahead and devolve here. Counterspell, okay, not the worst. I figured that counterspell might be one. But anyway, Gen Greymane, 6 cost, 6/5. He's the counter to Baku, or the opposite of Baku, basically. And if you have only even cost cards, your starting hero power costs 1. So my hero power here, instead of costing 2, would cost 1. Which of these cards provides more value? I'm getting destroyed right now. This is not looking very good. I think I'm screwed. Let's see. I'll just do this and see if I get another taunt. See if that will save me a little bit of time. Which of these cards provides more value? I'm going to say Baku right now. It is a card that you play later in the game, but you do get that effect right from the beginning, which means that provided you can build a decent deck using odd-only cost cards. That was a quick death. Wow, 5 turns is all it took for me to get wrecked there. Not a good example of why I like playing this deck. Okay, I think Baku probably provides better value, honestly. Great, another mage. Not good. Okay. Yeah, and not a good starting hand either. I don't want any of this. I do not want any of this. I want a Jade Claws in my hand right now. Okay, Firefly's fine. I can take that. That's acceptable to me. Yeah, I mean, I really want to get a game going where I can show off the craziness of the cube with Aya, and that is just so fun to pull off. I hadn't played in a while, so I started at rank like 24 or something. So of course, I was just thrashing people. Yes, let's hope that this is more of an inexperienced player than me, so I can actually go far and have some decent time to talk about some of these new cool cards. I'm really excited for this new expansion. I actually always get really excited for new expansions in Hearthstone. I love this game, and I'm always excited for the new stuff. Okay, so another legendary neutral. This is a 7-cost, 3/3 Azalina Soul Thief. Battlecry, replace your hand with a copy of your opponent's. So it essentially copies your opponent's hand, which means you both know what cards each other have. This is definitely a meme card. I don't think this will ever see any serious play, but who knows? I mean, King Togwaggle, last expansion was replacing your deck with your opponent's deck, and that saw some interesting, weird play, but never anything super serious. So, will this see serious play other than just for the meme? I doubt it, but nonetheless, it's a pretty cool card. And I'll definitely, if I pull it, I'll want to try it out just to see how it is. But it's probably a dust for me after, 1 or 2 tries. Okay, so next we have a 4-cost warrior card, 2/5 with Rush, which is new, flavor text, and Battle Cry, gain +3 attack this turn. So this is essentially a 4-cost 5/5 with charge, although you can only attack minions, right? So that flavor text, you can only attack minions, existed before. We've had charge cards that you can only attack minions on the turn that you drop it. We've seen that before. White Eyes, it's beautiful. Okay, that's not great, but not terrible. He's got 4 cards in his hand, about to have 5. I'm doing okay on cards. Probably Jade Spirit next turn. So yeah, this is cool. I mean, I don't know what else they're going for with this rush archetype or this flavor text. I see its uses, and having charge is good, especially if you're going to get a 4/5/5 with charge. It's good for board removal, I guess, but it's going to be interesting to see how this rush mode or rush archetype fits in with the meta after Witchwood drops. This card doesn't do much for me in terms of excitement. I don't really know what to expect, but we'll see. I mean, new things are exciting, I guess, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, next up we have a neutral 3-cost 2/4 with Echo and Taunt, and this is the Phantom Militia. Now, Echo is also a new flavor text, and what Echo what it means is that once you play this card, you have the ability to play it again immediately, and I guess that you would do it up to 3 times with this particular card. So if you had 9 mana, or 10 mana, I guess, you could play this for 3 cost, and then another one for 3 costs, and another one for 3 costs equals 9 mana. If you had 10, you would have 1 left. So this is a good defensive card. It's just like the Rush. I'm interested to see in what other cards that they utilize Echo with. There's a lot of interesting capability here, and for me, like when I first saw this and look at it, I imagine it would be in a very defensive taunt heavy deck, maybe Taunt Warrior or something that will be popular again. Maybe there will be a Taunt Paladin deck that is popular. I think that Paladin and Warrior are the 2 classes that probably utilize Taunt the most. They have the most cards that work with Taunt. So I imagine if this card does see play, it would be in a Paladin or a Warrior deck. So those are the cards that they officially showed, like the whole card. And then there is one more card that they showed at the end, but we don't know what it does yet so far. All we know is that it is a new hero card for this class, the Shaman class. And that's partly why I wanted to play Shaman today while I talked about this, because Shaman, yes, is getting a new hero card. And what was the name of it? Hagatha. You briefly see it at the end of the trailer that they had, and then Ben Brode went on Twitter after the fact and said, yes, this is going to be a Shaman hero card, and it is the only hero card that's going to be part of this new expansion. So it seems like they're going to do some work on Shaman and make it viable again, because honestly, past few expansions, really since maybe Gadgetzan, Shaman just hasn't been getting a lot of love. They tried to make free Shaman a thing, which didn't work at all, and you know, now we're here. Shaman is an underplayed class for sure. So maybe with the addition of the Hagatha card, we will get some new interesting Shaman play, some new Shaman stuff. I have a lot of high hopes for Shaman here. Okay, so back to this game. Looks like I'm getting trashed again. I just don't think this deck does well against Mage, and it's partly because I'm distracted talking about this stuff, and I haven't gotten used to like talking and playing. But yeah, I'm not doing well here. I think I'll just have to. I think I'm gonna try to grab the Spell Power Totem. That's exactly what I wanted. It's exactly what I needed. And I got counterspelled. So that's probably it for me. Let's see what I could do here. I can...
Hello.
I want to get rid of him, so I'm going to do this, and then get rid of that. And I'm probably dead here, because he's got 8 damage, and I'm sure that he's got a fireball or something. Yeah. Okay. Great. Wow.
Just a piece.
Thank you, Mage. Alright, Warlock. I can... Okay, Warlock. I can do something here. I could absolutely do something here. Alright, so in this last part, I'm mostly going to be focusing on this game. I want to try to get a win here, so I don't completely fail in this video. And then I will lightly talk about some of the other stuff that is involved with this expansion. So we do know that each class is going to get 2 specific legendary cards. That is how most expansions work in Hearthstone. We'll get 2 legendary cards per class, and then I don't know, maybe 10 or so neutral legendaries. I'm not sure on the exact numbers there, but we can expect that. And then Echo and Rush are the 2 new flavor texts, which are cool, or some, I guess they're also called keywords. I always call them flavor text, but I guess flavor text is like the whole thing. But keyword is just the one word. So let's get rid of his Cavern Shiny Finder, and then I'm gonna go ahead and point out my stone wheel, and hopefully get. I'll take Alec here. Why not? But yeah, we're actually getting a new single player, which is called, let's see, it's called Monster Hunt, and apparently it's going to work a lot like Dungeon Run, and that you're playing a hero class against bosses, and that you build a deck as you progress. It's actually not going to contain the normal Hearthstone heroes. It has 4 unique characters, and those are called the Cannoneer, the Houndmaster, the Time Tinkerer, and Tracker heroes. So that's going to be cool. That's all we know so far exactly what that does, but that's going to be cool. So I love the single player stuff. Sometimes I do get sick of the playing against people, and the single player is a good respite for that. The Dungeon Run is great. I played a ton of that. I never beat it, though. I never actually was able to complete a dungeon run, sadly. I did put a lot of time in it, trying to beat it, and I think the closest I came was with a priest run, but yeah, I just was never able to finish one. Still very fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not mad that I spent the time doing it and never got a win. Maybe I'll revisit it in the future, but it's pretty difficult, and you get into the later stages. Some of the bosses that you fight are just like incredibly hard. Okay, what do I want to do? I could devolve and play Manatide Totem, which might not be a bad play because I don't lose board presence. I'm not sure what this Warlock is at this stage. I haven't caught on to what he's doing. I think I'm going to devolve and do Manatide, though, because I kind of want to keep my board presence. And then I will get rid of that, go face here, and we'll see what else he's got. Okay, so now I'm not overloaded. I could do Murmuring Elemental and then Jade Spirit next turn, which is probably a good play. And then maybe on turn 7, I'll do Grumble. And nope, okay, not going to do any of that. Okay, so Well, I can still Murmur and then Jade Spirit, which I think is the play here. And that way we get a 2/2 and a 3/3 on board. And I guess my play actually does remain the same, even though he Hellfired all my stuff. Okay, I set him up perfectly for that Bile, of course. So, okay, so he's a Handlock Warlock, which kind of sucks. Because now I am in a bad position because he's got an 8/8 on board and I have no removal for that. I don't run Hex in this deck. Hex got nerfed from being a 3 cost to a 4 cost. Maybe I'll add take one of these out and add 1 Hex for instances like this. I think I'm just going to Jade Claw, Totem. And then I guess I'll put my Blood Sail out as well, because unless he runs the Warlock weapon, which I doubt he does because he's a Handlock, I'm gonna play my Blood Sail. And then I'll just go face with my Jade Claws. Yeah. I don't know, maybe this deck isn't so good. I kind of built it up at the beginning of this video. But again, that just shows how inexperienced I am. And, you know, some people can just get into this game and build like a crazy deck from right from the beginning, and it becomes meta. And I think, you know, the people that build the meta decks are the really experienced players who have played this game a long time. So, what can I do? I could Jade Lightning one of these and then take one out. And then get a 5/5, which I'm going to do here. And then face. Hope for Taunt Totem. No. And then I'll just go face again here. So he's going to have me down to 11. And hopefully he doesn't run any charge or anything. So there's some Life Steal. So he's running Faceless and Mountain Giants. It's super weird. Okay, so my real only play here is to Jade Chieftain and then Totem, I'm guessing. And then maybe I could Spirit Echo next turn. He probably has me though. I'm gonna go ahead and say. Yikes. Okay. Yeah. Ouch. Maybe this deck sucks after all. Wow, this does not a lot for my confidence. So I'm super stoked that I built up this deck as something that was good, and I end up getting trashed 3 times in a row. But anyway, I'm super excited for the new expansion. I'm going to do Hearthstone videos leading up to that, probably a couple a week, maybe 3 or 4 even if I get into it. Maybe I'll get into maybe I'll find a deck that actually works, or build one that actually works. I like to build my own. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me how to play this game. Apparently, I need help. And be on the lookout for future Hearthstone videos. We're going to be doing a giveaway leading up to the expansion. So be on the lookout for that. We'll help you build your collection of Witchwood cards. So tune in, and I'll see you again soon.